Ivy Wangechi, popularly known as Tesh by her peers, was born on 10th April 1994. She was the firstborn in a family of 3 children, born to Winfred and Paul Githui. Growing up in Thika in the 90s, Ivy's family were neighbors with Naftali Njami Kinuthia's family. Naftali, a reserved boy and Ivy's close friend, would grow up to become infatuated with her and driven by unrequited love, blinding rage, obsession and jealousy. He ultimately took her life in 2019 in such a gruesome manner. Welcome to Silent Shadows. As always, if you appreciate our true crime storytelling, support our fortnightly series by liking and subscribing. Together we uncover compelling tales of crimes and mysteries in Kenya and beyond, presenting well-balanced narratives that respect the victims and their loved ones. Ivy and Naftali attended the same school, Joyland Academy in Gatanga. Ivy began nursery school there in 1998, while Naftali was in class 2. Ivy studied at the academy until 2004, and during that time, Naftali treated her like a younger sister. He fondly recalled how they would ride the same bus to school every day, with him always securing a seat for her in the often crowded vehicle. And during lunch times at school, he would always make sure he saved a spot for Ivy in the queue. As expected, their families were also quite close. Ivy's mother taught at Chomo Primary School, while Naftali's father ran a bookshop in Thika town. The two parents interacted frequently as Ivy's mother purchased school books from Naftali's father. It was at his father's bookstore in Thika that the two youngsters, Ivy and Naftali, would continue to meet even after Ivy left Joyland Academy in 2004. Beyond their friendship, both Ivy and Naftali were very academically gifted. For Naftali, he completed his KCPE, joined Nyandarua High School, sat for his KCSE in 2008, and later pursued a degree in computer technology at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, JKUAT, graduating in 2013. The following year, in April of 2014, Naftali moved from Juja to Nairobi, and he opened a computer shop at Jamia Mall in the Nairobi CBD. By this time, Ivy, on the other hand, was en route to becoming a doctor, as she was in her second year at Moi University, studying for a Bachelor of Medicine and Surgery, after scoring highly in her KCSE exams in 2011. At Alliance Girls High School, one of the most prestigious national girls' high schools in Kenya. Despite being more than 300 kilometers apart, Naftali and Ivy remained in touch, meeting in person and talking on the phone. They were just friends, but as time passed, Naftali developed romantic feelings for Ivy. Unfortunately, these feelings were unreciprocated, leading to a tragic and gruesome end to Ivy's life. According to Ivy's friends, Naftali began aggressively pursuing Ivy romantically in 2017. One of Ivy's friends, who studied medicine with her and requested anonymity during her testimony in court. As such, we shall refer to her as Jane Doe 1. Shared insights about Naftali's presence in Ivy's life. Jane Doe 1 mentioned that she knew Naftali was Ivy's friend in 2017 because Ivy often talked about him, and even Jane Doe 1 met him a few times. For example, in 2017, Jane Doe 1 and Ivy visited Limuru Forest. At around 8 p.m., Jane Doe 1 told the court that Ivy called Naftali to ask if they could stay at his house for the night, and he agreed. The two girls went to his house, where Naftali slept on the couch, and Jane Doe 1 and Ivy slept in his bed. In consequence, Jane Doe 1 asserted that Ivy and Naftali were just friends, and although Naftali wanted a romantic relationship with Ivy, this was not something Ivy wanted. The following year, in 2018, Ivy's and Naftali's friendship became very strained and toxic. Ivy's friend, Jane Doe 1, painted a picture of this volatility by sharing that when Naftali bought a car in 2018, he traveled all the way to Moi University in Eldoret to pick up Ivy and Jane Doe 1. Jane Doe 1 alleged that Ivy opposed this gesture, but Naftali insisted, and Ivy eventually gave in. Naftali picked up the two girls at the university at around 5 p.m. and took them out to Rupa Mall for a good time. After they had dinner, he drove them back to their hostel. When they arrived at the hostel, Naftali insisted on talking to Ivy alone. Jane-Doe 1 got out of the car, but Ivy requested she wait for her nearby. Naftali and Ivy spoke for a few minutes, but when Ivy got out of the car, she was furious, emotional, and upset. Ivy told Jane-Doe 1 that Naftali had asked her to go back to his hotel with him, but she declined. And when she declined his request, he insulted her, calling her degrading names. Jane-Doe 1 consoled Ivy as they went back to the hostel, where Naftali sent Ivy aggressive and threatening messages, leading her to block him on her phone. The following morning, Ivy was scheduled to travel to Nairobi. Naftali called Jane-Doe 1, saying he wanted to travel with Ivy as he had come all the way from Nairobi and did not wish to travel back alone. He apologized and urged Jane-Doe 1 to convince Ivy to agree to his request. Jane-Doe 1, who was also traveling to Nairobi, managed to persuade Ivy. According to Jane-Doe 1's account, she sat in the front passenger seat, while Ivy sat in the back left seat. Throughout the journey, it was Jane-Doe 1 who was talking to Naftali and Ivy, while Ivy and Naftali did not speak to each other. They arrived in Nairobi at 9 p.m., and Naftali dropped off each of the girls at their respective destinations before calling it a night. The drama continued that same week, when Naftali called Jane-Doe 1, complaining that Ivy had blocked him again. Naftali lied to Jane-Doe 1, claiming that he had reported Ivy to the police and that she should report there or face consequences. He also falsely stated that Jane-Doe 1 was a witness. When Jane-Doe 1 asked what she was supposed to be a witness to, Naftali said Ivy had insulted him and he had sued her. Jane-Doe 1 informed Ivy about this, and Ivy consulted her lawyer friends, who assured her it must be a lie, as there were no legal basis for such a claim. Jane-Doe 1 then called Naftali, who confirmed he had lied and apologized. It seemed that Naftali's goal was to get Ivy to unblock and talk to him. In spite of the ups and downs, Naftali continued to pursue Ivy. To win her over, Naftali showered Ivy with gifts and lunch dates. On her 24th birthday, which was on 10th April 2018, exactly a year before her death, Naftali's efforts were particularly notable. Another friend of Ivy, who also requested anonymity in court, and we shall call her Jane-Doe 2, recounted that Ivy's birthday celebration was planned to be in Westlands, Nairobi. Since Ivy was in med school in Eldoret, she took a matatu to Jane-Doe 2's home in Lang'ata. Because the two girls couldn't leave Lang'ata wearing their party clothes, they went to Naftali's shop in Jamia Mall in the Nairobi CBD to change clothes before heading to Westlands for Ivy's birthday party. When they arrived at Naftali's shop, Jane-Doe 2 recalled Naftali inquired about the birthday plans from her, as Ivy had not invited him. Jane-Doe 2 informed him of the party location, and Naftali promised to attend. He kept his word, and he attended Ivy's birthday dinner and even joined them for an after-party at Bar Bistro in Westlands. Jane-Doe 2 further claimed Naftali covered all the expenses for Ivy's birthday dinner and the after-party that night. Ivy confided in her that Naftali had invited her to spend the night at his place, but she had declined. Jane-Doe 2 also testified in court that since Naftali had her number, he would text or call her, complaining about Ivy. At one point in 2018, after Ivy's birthday, Ivy and Naftali fell apart once more, and Ivy blocked Naftali on her phone. Desperate to reach Ivy, Naftali sent messages to Jane-Doe 2 to pass along to Ivy. Some messages were just him venting about how Ivy was treating him, but others were threats. For example, Jane-Doe 2 claimed that Naftali once sent a message declaring that only death would end what he was going through with Ivy. In other messages, he complained about the gifts he had given her, demanding them back. He even calculated the total amount Ivy owed him for everything he had spent on her, which came to approximately 200,000 Kenyan shillings. He threatened to demand payment from Ivy's mother if she did not pay him back. At the end of that year, in December of 2018, having had enough, Ivy even changed her number to prevent Naftali from constantly messaging and calling her. The following year came quickly, and Ivy, who took her birthdays very seriously, was particularly looking forward to her 25th birthday on Wednesday, 10th April 2019. Ivy was making arrangements for her birthday when Naftali felt it was important to get involved, possibly as a way to continue to try and win her over. Naftali claimed he reached out to Ivy, who said she wanted a big party with a budget of about 28,000 Kenyan shillings. Naftali sent her 14,000 Kenyan shillings and promised to send the remaining amount the day before her birthday. A week before Ivy's birthday, on Wednesday, 3rd April 2019, Ivy confided in her friends in their WhatsApp group about how Naftali had appeared out of the blue at her hostel in her university around 6:30 p.m. Ivy stated she was shocked to see him at the gate, and he even invited her to his car. Ivy then lied to him, saying she needed to drop her robe and books in her room first, and promised to meet him afterward, but she never showed up. Her friends even advised her not to leave the hostel, and when she did, to make sure she walks in the company of a male friend to avoid a possible attack from Naftali. After this encounter with Ivy, Naftali was relentless to meeting up with her in person, and he even stayed at a hotel in Eldoret overnight. The following day, Thursday, 4th April 2019, Naftali reached out to Ivy again, begging to meet, but Ivy declined and asked her friend Ksh.200 to speak to him and urge him to leave Eldoret. Her other friend, Ksh.100, who was her classmate in med school, advised Ivy that things were getting out of hand with Naftali and she should involve her family and possibly the police. However, Ivy, being young and trusting, believed that Naftali would never harm her. Sadly, Naftali's actions were becoming more irrational and drastic, showing signs of being controlling and possessive. His encounter with Ivy outside her hostel would be the final straw, leading to a sinister turn of events that would cost Ivy her life. On Tuesday, 9th April 2019, just a day before Ivy's 25th birthday, Ivy was upbeat about her upcoming celebration. Around 10:30 a.m., Ivy was leaving the hostels with one of her male friends, walking together to a class at the Moi University Mental Health Department. They were on a footpath when Ivy's friend noticed from the periphery of his eye Naftali behind them, lifting an axe, ready to strike Ivy. Ivy's friend then tried to reach out for the axe to try and save her, but it was too late. Naftali struck Ivy on the head, causing her to fall to the side, and Ivy's friend jumped aside. Naftali then raised the axe again, and Ivy's friend attempted to prevent him from striking Ivy again, but Naftali turned the weapon towards him. Seeing this, Ivy's friend tried to run away, but tripped and fell after running a few meters. At this point, he saw the assailant, Naftali Njami Kinuthia, go around Ivy, who lay on the ground. He held her hand, lifted it up, and struck her on the head with the axe again, then walked away from her body. Some of the students who were nearby began shouting, "Don't let him escape," and converged towards him. Naftali swung the axe, which was about 1 meter long, to scare them, and even drew a dagger from his clothes to further threaten the crowd. Boda operators who were nearby joined the crowd and managed to subdue him. In the pandemonium, Naftali was beaten and severely injured by the angered public, who threw stones at him, while Ivy's classmates at the scene screamed, "Ivy has been killed." A doctor from Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital arrived at the scene immediately after the incident. She recognized the victim as Ivy Wangechi and organized for an ambulance to rush her to the hospital. But sadly, Ivy was pronounced dead upon arrival at the casualty ward. A security officer at the hospital also arrived soon after the incident, he found the angry mob attacking Naftali and called the police, who arrived to rescue him. Due to the severity of his injuries, Naftali was rushed to the hospital. The police then began gathering evidence against Naftali, starting with an autopsy on Ivy on Wednesday, 10th April 2019. Instead of being out and about celebrating her birthday, Ivy lay in the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital morgue as her autopsy was conducted. The pathologist established she succumbed to injuries sustained when Naftali struck her twice on the head with an axe. The following day, Thursday, 11th April 2019, samples of Ivy's blood, along with the blood-stained axe and the clothes they were wearing, were sent to the government chemist. It was established the DNA profile of the bloodstains on the axe and Naftali's clothes matched Ivy's. Naftali's phone was also confiscated and subjected to investigations by the Safaricom office and the Cybercrime office. The Cybercrime office was able to retrieve messages sent and received using the device, which showed that Ivy and Naftali were not in a romantic relationship at all. The police then interviewed Naftali, who was still admitted at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. Naftali told the police he traveled to Eldoret on Tuesday, 9th April 2019 to give Ivy the balance of 14,000 Kenyan shillings for her birthday party and to wish her happy birthday in person. He arrived in Eldoret around 9 a.m., which meant he had started his drive from Nairobi around 3 a.m. Naftali told the police he had breakfast in Eldoret and drove to Ivy's hostel at about 9:30 a.m. He parked the car opposite the emergency section of Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital and sat alone in the vehicle. He tried to call Ivy, but she had blocked him. He then sent a message to her, which is strange, because if she had blocked his calls, she would likely have blocked him on messaging platforms as well. After 30 minutes, Naftali claimed he got out of his car looking for a place to relieve himself. On his way back to the vehicle, he alleges he bumped into Ivy. He told her about the call he had made and informed her that he was there for her birthday arrangements and to give her the balance of 14,000 Kenyan shillings. He added that, due to time constraints, he would not be able to attend her birthday party the following day. He further alleged that Ivy told him her new boyfriend would take care of the birthday arrangements and he should keep his money and leave. Naftali then told the police this was the first time she made it clear to him that she was no longer interested in their relationship. Naftali continued to tell the police he did not respond to Ivy. To him, she had burnt all the bridges and he felt their relationship, which he had nurtured since 1998, had come to an end. He said he felt hopeless and full of rage and that he retreated to his car, telling himself he would never talk to her again. In his statement to the police, he further claimed that he planned to drive to Nairobi for work the following day. Before getting into his car, he claimed he looked back and saw Ivy hugging and holding hands with a male friend, which he felt was done on purpose to rub it in his face. This behavior, according to him, was uncharacteristic of Ivy in public. Naftali continued to narrate to the police that he lost control of himself, and in a fit of rage, he picked up the axe from the boot of his car, which he claimed was there for security purposes since 2018. He also told the police that the dagger did not belong to him, but was handed to him by one of the members of the public who was beating him. From the moment he attacked Ivy, he alleged he could not recall the events that took place. He said to the police that he just found himself in the hospital, where a nurse told him that Ivy was dead. Hearing of her death, he claims to have regretted his actions and stated that he would live with the regret forever. It is crucial to note, Naftali's claim that he ran into Ivy and she dismissed him that morning was false. As previously mentioned, Ivy's friend was walking with her from the hostel to class, and the only time they encountered Naftali was when he was attacking Ivy. Also, according to witnesses, Ivy did not hug or show any affection to the male friend she was walking to class with, as Naftali claimed. The news about Ivy's gruesome death shocked the world. Unfortunately, her life story was marred by numerous and malicious fake news stories propagated by blogs and some of her college mates. Some of the fake news included claims that Oscar Sudi, the then MP of Kapseret constituency, was her sponsor, and that she had the HIV virus. These claims were entirely false, but even in their shock and grief, Ivy's parents had to come forward to defend her honor.
I want to state in no uncertain terms, there is no iota of truth in those negative things that are being spread around.
I have learned of an Ivy that only exists in the world of social media. That Ivy who is in the world of social media is not Ivy Wangechi Githui. That must be another Ivy.
Ivy Wangechi was buried on Friday, 19th April 2019 in Mahiga, Nyeri County, 10 days after her gruesome death. The burial was attended by her friends, classmates, family, and politicians. Ivy was eulogized as a lovely young woman who was a role model to her siblings, cousins, and peers. Ivy's mother also eulogized her as a loving daughter whom she shared a very close relationship with.
I miss you, my Ivy, already. I love you. I wonder who will take care of me the way you did. Who will be buying my purses? Who will be buying my earrings and perfumes? Who will approve my clothes designs and metalos? Cheryl, Elvis, and I miss you. You had great dreams for us. You longed to finish school so that you could be there for us. We take courage because we know that God has a different way of fulfilling your wish, I believe. It's so sad how you left us, Tesh. We wish you did not go so soon, our caretaker, our best friend. We love you even in death. Fare thee well, my sleeping beauty. It's so sad to say goodbye. So, I'll see you in heaven.
At the time of her burial, Naftali was still in police custody at Naibere police station in Eldoret. The hearing of the case began on Friday, 10th May 2019 at the Eldoret High Court. The case spanned over 5 years, with 10 witnesses called to the stand. To keep it short, here are the main highlights from the court proceedings. Naftali Kinuthia took the stand in court on Friday, 4th March 2023 and confessed to killing Ivy. In his testimony, Naftali said his relationship with Ivy had begun when they were in primary school and continued through the years. He explained that he had spent a considerable sum of money on Ivy, but she rejected him for being short, and she hugged another man in front of him, knowing she did not intend to pursue their relationship further. Naftali also told the court he was remorseful for taking Ivy's life and that their differences could have been resolved in other ways.
I stopped taking care of her, sending her money, not only for the birthday but supporting her in other ways. I only left for a few meters and looking back I saw them hugging. It came to my mind that she was doing that on purpose. Because from how I knew her, she never did that in public. Not even in our best moments. I never saw her. So I thought she was doing it to rub it to my face. At that point, that's when I thought I lost control of myself. I was too angry to think clearly. From there, I can't even tell when I decided to pick the axe. I wasn't myself. Yeah. From there, I can't remember exactly what transpired. I was told later that the worst had happened.
Conversely, the prosecution, through text messages between Naftali and Ivy and testimonies from Ivy's friends, was able to prove that Ivy and Naftali were just friends and did not have a romantic or intimate relationship at any time. The evidence showed while Naftali pursued a romantic relationship with Ivy through various means, including financial means, Ivy did not want more than a friendship with him. Regarding whether the attack was premeditated, the prosecution argued Naftali did not have the axe in his car since 2018 for security purposes, as he claimed. The prosecutor contended that the axe, which was submitted in court as evidence, was of the kind used in rural areas to split firewood or cut trees. It was newly sharpened using a grinder, and had a metal tube as a handle. The prosecutor argued it was not the kind reasonable people ordinarily carried for security in their cars. As such, the prosecutor asserted that Naftali purposely brought the axe to commit the heinous act. Additionally, the fact that Naftali attacked Ivy twice on the head with the axe, leaving her no chance to survive, further proved he had planned to kill her and acted on that intention. The prosecution proved beyond reasonable doubt that Naftali had planned and executed Ivy's murder, and he was found guilty of committing the crime by Justice Ruben Githinji. On Thursday, 14th December 2023, the same judge handed him a sentence of 40 years, which he is serving at the Eldoret GK prison. Ivy Wangechi would have turned 30 this year and likely achieved her dream of becoming Dr. Ivy. Tragically, her life was cut short by Naftali Njami Kinuthia, who took it upon himself to play God. This heartbreaking case, just like others we have seen in Kenya, such as that of Elvin Ongari, came with a lot of victim blaming, with segments of our society playing the role of moral police. We cannot underscore enough, despite Ivy accepting money and gifts from Naftali, he had no right to take her life. Further reflecting on the events leading to Ivy's murder, it becomes apparent Naftali may have had underlying mental or personality disorders. His behaviors, love bombing, being controlling, obsessive, and stalking were huge red flags, and Ivy, perhaps too young and trusting, might not have recognized these signs as lethal. Additionally, even if Ivy had accepted to date Naftali, the relationship could have remained toxic, as we have seen in other tragic cases we have covered, like that of Lucy Njambi and Catherine Yokabi. Such controlling and obsessive behaviors by romantic partners tend to escalate and not improve. In a nutshell, Ivy's death is a sobering reminder of the prevalence of femicide in our country, and the fact that there is a very thin line between love and hate. Also, as we consider our safety, it's crucial to remember not to lead anyone on. If you don't intend to pursue a relationship with someone, it's best not to accept gifts or money, as these often come with unspoken expectations and strings attached. Some individuals may even become so consumed by their emotions that they are willing to end a life rather than let go of unrequited love. We extend our heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Ivy Wangechi. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you for joining us today. If you appreciated this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be notified when the next video is up. Until then, please take care, stay safe, and always trust your gut.